it's Jemana and welcome back for another episode of Raw for Life. This week I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'm outdoors at the St Kilda Botanical Gardens and I just wanted to talk a little bit about my food philosophy and my approach to food. So basically there's so much I could talk about and different diets, but I just want to keep it really short and simple and just share what I believe about food. And in saying that, I just want to say I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not giving any advice. I just want to share my approach in terms of the recipes that I bring and why I choose what I do, just so you have a little bit of an understanding. So in saying that, my number one fundamental for my approach to food is I believe in whole foods. And what I mean by whole foods is food that is fresh and organic, grown at home in the garden. I know this is not always possible, so at times, I buy my food from the organic markets, from farmers markets, because it's really important that we eliminate the amount of pesticides and herbicides and all the nasties that are sprayed on, mass-produced food and genetically modified food, which obviously is affecting our health in ways that we are, I think, for many years to come, it will take us to understand what this is actually doing. So yeah, I know that organic food might seem a little bit more expensive and it might be a little bit harder to get, but it's worth it. When I went to Ceres and I talked about going and buying seasonal produce, and so I go to the markets and just make and create my food out of what I find in the market. So, and it's a really fun way to approach cooking as well. So that's my number one thing that I believe in. Now I want to talk about the varying diets. You might hear me throw around raw vegan, you might hear me throwing around paleo. I want to say that I've tried lots of different diets. I've been on the 80-20 diet, I've been on a raw vegan diet, I've done a vegan diet, been a vegetarian, a pescatarian, I've been on the paleo diet. So at different times in my life I've tried different things, and in the end I've decided that I don't subscribe to any particular way of eating, and that my approach is eating things in its most freshest, purest form. I do eat grains and beans, which is not on the paleo diet. I don't eat wheat because wheat is genetically modified, and it's with all the gluten, all the stuff that's in it, it's just a bad thing to do. So I substitute it with buckwheat and perhaps some other grains that paleo diets don't necessarily follow. I do eat some dairy. I have goat's cheese and goat's milk and goat's yogurt, because goat's milk is very conducive to human blood type and it's easy for us to ingest. So I don't necessarily think that's, there's a right or wrong. If you're a vegan or a raw vegan or a vegetarian, if it's working for you then and it makes you feel good and you're in good health, then I think that's what you should be doing. Everyone's body type is different, so I think it's really important that you find something that works, as long as I think there's some fundamentals that should be followed, which obviously will benefit you. So organic food is my number one most important thing. And number two is lots of clean, filtered alkaline water. Our body is made up of 70% water. It's really important that we don't put fluoride into our body and all the other nasties that's in our water tap system. So I use not only a water filter, but a filter that actually puts alkalinity back into the water. And why that's important, our body needs to be in an alkaline state in order for us to be in our most optimal health. So a lot of diseases are caused by, in the West we have a very acidic diet because of alcohol and sugar and dairy and meat. So when we have a lot of this, our body is acidic, and therefore, in order to have alkalinity, we need to put that back in through our water, through eating a lot of greens, vegetables, etc., etc. Number three thing is I do a lot of juicing and smoothies as part of my diet. I don't really have the time to talk about it now in this video because there's so much to talk about that topic, that I'm going to make a separate video for you guys, hopefully in another few weeks, where I'll actually talk about the different juices, what's the difference between juicing and the difference between blending it like in smoothies, and especially now with like people buying NutriBullets and all sorts of things. I think there's a very misunderstood topic, so I will definitely do a video and bring that to you guys in the next few weeks. The most important thing that I believe about food after the organic food and the diets is taking out sugar out of your diet. I don't have sugar in my diet at all, except very occasionally I might indulge in traditional chocolate rather than say a vegan chocolate. Or I usually substitute in most of my cooking. You'll see that I substitute a lot of the sugars for maple syrup or for stevia or for rice malt syrup and a few other substitutes as well, or coconut sugar. So there's some of the better alternatives for sugar, because white, refined, processed sugar and cane sugar is just really bad for you, and it is a major cause of so many sicknesses. So if you take one thing away from this video, it'd be just eliminate sugar out of your diet. And the other thing too is I really believe in balance. So for me, it's being 80% 80% clean and having 20% of the time, you know, just to have a few naughty things. Stay away from junk food and processed food. You don't need it in your life. You're not missing anything. So guys, that's just some of my food philosophy in a nutshell. There's so much more else that I could talk about, but I'm not going to, because then it'd be a super long video, and I just wanted to keep this week's video very brief. But I do also want to mention that when I do the juicing and smoothie video, I will talk about some of my thoughts about dairy as well, but I'll save that for another video. So in conclusion, I just want to say thank you so much. I thank you everyone for their support. If this resonates with you and you like what I'm about, please comment, like and subscribe. And until next time, be good to yourself, stay fit, stay healthy, keep smiling, and I look forward to seeing you for another episode of Raw for Life. Bye. Hi, this is Jemana, and I want to talk to you today about food.
Hello, how are you? Are you good? I want to talk about food today. You come and eat. Manja.
Not like that one.
You know, food is a very, very serious topic. Like, seriously. You can't get more serious than that. I mean, where we live in Melbourne, food is very, very serious. We got some serious foodies in Melbourne. It's serious. I'm being serious.